Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Today I am going to discuss with you a topic: role of media in Pakistan's foreign dealings. Media is a subject in the academia which has led to the formation of numerous new concepts which gave birth to the need of understanding this sprawling field. The evolution of media with the passage of time and its sister field like journalism and communication studies have gained significant power to shape the environment they operate in. The modern day media has developed significantly to the extent that it has registered itself as a separate entity in the society regardless of the number of crises. Hence, numerous theories have been formulated and discussed to understand the magnitude of the power that media in today's world possesses. Media acted as the sole communicator during the First and the Second World War, and government utilized its reach to convey their message across the locality and the borders. So, with the democracy came the demand for right to information, the freedom of speech or expression, resulting in the foundation of the contemporary media. Foreign dealings are a hallmark of democratic state and are vital for the survival of a state in the world. Different thinkers from the field of both media and foreign policy, they have placed media as an indispensable tool of communication for political stakeholders and the general public. Considered now as the fourth pillar of democracy, media has started to influence one particular and unimaginable aspect of state functioning, the foreign policy of the country. Pakistan owes much of its media freedom to the former President Pervez Musharraf. The overall autonomy of the Pakistani media underwent a systematic shift with Musharraf's vow to develop every sector of the country. Contrary to the dictatorial, or you could say that dictatorial area of General Ziaul Haq, where the state-owned media faced serious restrictions from the content being aired to dress code practices. Musharraf not only liberated the state media but also gave clearance to independent media houses. The newly granted media freedom and the overall industry experienced a boom, but the implications were not foreseen. The Pakistani media took a leading role in highlighting the policy issues which were once considered a taboo, and the media soon became the critic of them. Still continuing semi-dictatorial regime of Musharraf, many grave foreign policy issues came to the fore during the period. War with India was imminent, and in such dire times, the media played a vital role in keeping the morale of national and its soldier high by airing relevant content. And leading this notion was the national channel like PTV, Pakistan Television. Still in the phase of a Cold War, one private media channel seized the opportunity to drive away the anti-Indian emotions by taking the Aman Ki Asha initiative, which soon received serious backlash. This shows the private media's ability to disregard the stance of the government and the public at any moment. With the advancement in the private media, media houses, the monopoly of the state owned was not only challenged but broken, and hence till date only PTV remains the true governmental mouthpiece. Turning the attention towards the United States, Pakistan became an important ally in the highly wounded war on terror, which became the hot talk of the town of Pakistani media. By and large, public opinion was in favor of alliance with the United States led war on terrorism. The pros and the cons of the alliances were visible as Pakistan's international sanctions were waived off. The media experienced international exposure, and the coverage was mainly favoring this alliance. Musharraf was hailed as the savior of the country. Surprisingly, the mostly in a critical mood, private media houses were not challenging the established foreign policy decisions in regard to America. Along with the alliance with the United States, the turmoil of Afghan began to spell. This is where the split in the media began to emerge. Media started to question the country's dual policy regarding Taliban. Senior journalists started to allege the inter-services intelligence of harboring links. Musharraf, however, maintained a strong image in the eyes of public as well as the international audience, despite the harshness from the local media. The president defended the national interest of the country as he believed in the philosophy of life before motherland, and stated his clear stance in local and in international media forms alike. The demand of the United States for stepping up the ante or do more became a phrase which created strains between the two allies. The media started to critically analyze the decision of joining the forces against the war of terror. Since it took a toll on life and economy, the criticism turned into a massive anti-Musharraf movement after the Lal Masjid saga or Lal Masjid operation. The easiest way to malign Musharraf was to criticize his foreign policy towards the United States and its use of drones in the tribal areas of Pakistan. The media cried the severity hoax. Anti-Americanism was fueled by the private media. The media started to set the consents of the public at large, with the latter helped in ending the dictatorial era in Pakistan. The media helped alter the political change within and the country and the change of stance toward the United States, India, and Afghanistan. The media became an active participant in the foreign policy making, which was an unprecedented revolution in Pakistan. Beating the victory drums, both the media, Pakistani media, and the governmental individuals understood the wide range of its power, and so the phase of trial began. Private media channels started setting news agendas and didn't ponder the government's line. The term media trial re-emerged in the assembly and the parliament of Pakistan whenever any important policy matter was under discussion. Various PEMRA clauses were set out of to maintain some code of conduct for the media, which seemed ineffective, and the media continued the analysis of the national matters, whilst unintentionally forming the opinion of the public. Media and the media persons, they have now started to fill the vacuum of a think tank outside the tables of regular policy makers. Since Pakistan has resumed its journey towards democracy, the foreign ties have become an interesting matter for the media to discuss. The media has kept a keen eye on the external matters of the state and continued the trend of poking its nose in sensitive matters. No significant matters or deals took place under the government of former President Zardari, apart from the Abbottabad incident and continued drone attacks in Pakistan tribal areas. The media openly questioned both the civil governments and the military establishment quietness over the issue, and once again aided in garnering the anti-US notion within the country. Seeing the pressure building up, calls for elections were made, and since the media once again silently played the role of an assassin, they played a role of an assassin. Currently, Pakistani media still holds the spade, but few have learned from the past mistakes, and so the media now is much matured. In most of the countries, the local media is bound to respect the state policy, especially when it is the matter of foreign ties. Much caution is taken by the media, as even the slightest of unnecessary comments can trigger a clash. Diplomacy lies at the heart of conducting ties with other countries. Moreover, signaling and blusters are imperative to strategy. The media is a powerful cog in both the above mentioned planks that I discussed with you. The rational model of foreign policy decision making has become all the more complicated owing to what one can call the fog of information. As we admit that sound foreign relations are aimed at the ultimate betterment of our citizens, then public opinion does come into the equation. Media act as a bridge between public and the people at the helm. Media provides critical feedback on their policy initiatives by reaching out to the public. The eye of the camera and emotional appeal has a significantly bearing on shaping public opinion. The change in the pulse of the public is then packed up by the media to pressurize the government into altering a policy. Hence, a chain reaction set, but it is not without its complexities. Media is perhaps more of a tool in carrying out effective foreign relations. This claim is not hollow, to say the last. Foreign policy practitioners nowadays increasingly make use of the social media to engage with the people to foster ties. Former United States Secretary of the State, her name is Hillary Clinton. She addressed the need to laterally use social media to put across the American word to a wider mass. The Pakistani media has grasped some sense in regards to what needs to be portrayed and brought under discussion. In a globalized world where the center and the periphery are connected via media, governments of other states get the required information from the media. The Foreign Office also uses media to convey their message, and hence the media act as the non-human diplomat on behalf of the country. Now Pakistani media uh, vigilantly discuss the sensitive foreign matters, and ensure that the stance of the government or the such matters are kept in mind, which partially fulfills the criteria of a responsible media coverage. Be at the president's foreign visit, the Pakistani media affairs, but yet much has to be learned by the media. The relationships between the Pakistani media and the government's foreign policy is a fragile bridge whose ends are tied not far from each other. Now the question is that is media free in Pakistan? As you all know that Pakistan has a vibrant media landscape and enjoys independence to a large extent. After having been liberalized in 2002, the television sector experienced a media boom. In the fierce competitive environment that followed, commercial interest became paramount and quality journalism gave way to sensationalism. Although the radio sector has not seen a similar growth, independent radio channels are numerous and considered very important sources of information, especially in the rural areas. The Pakistani media landscape reflects a multilinguistic, multi-ethnic, and class divided society. There is a clear divide between Urdu and English media. The Urdu media, particularly the newspapers, are widely read by the masses, mostly in rural areas. The English media is urban and elite centric. It's more liberal and professional compared to the Urdu media. English print, television, and radio channels have far smaller audiences than their Urdu counterparts, but have greater leverage among opinion makers, politicians, and the businesses community and the upper strata of society. Pakistan has a vibrant media landscape, among the most dynamic and outspoken in South Asia. To a large extent, the media enjoys freedom of expression. More than 89 television channels beam soaps, satire, music programs, films, religious speech, political talk shows, and news of the hour. Although sometimes criticized for being unprofessional and political biased, the television channels have made a great contribution to the media landscape and to Pakistani society. Radio channels are numerous and considered a very important source of information, especially in the rural areas. Besides the state channel Radio Pakistan, a number of private radio carrying independent journalistic content and news. But most radio content is music and entertainment. There are hundreds of Pakistani newspapers, from the large national Urdu newspaper to the small local vernacular papers. Pakistan's media sector is highly influenced by the ownership structure. There are three dominating media moguls, or you could say large media groups, which to some extent also have political affiliations due to their dominance in both print and broadcast industries. All three media groups are very influential in politics and in society. I think that's enough for today. Thank you so much for watching my video lecture. Kindly subscribe my channel so whenever I upload my new video lecture you will get it easily. Thank you once again.